Hello, beautiful world. Welcome to episode 6 of Outrageously Evolving with me, Solara Green, and
And me, Santara Green, as if we
so
need introductions.
yes. So in episode 5, we talked about the art of sourcing realities, sourcing space and sourcing possibilities, etc. And in episode 6, we want to take that a little bit further and talk about the art of sourcing breakthroughs. And I would refer to that as mostly what we're doing is innovating consciousness with new possibilities and then putting it in consciousness. But also, I would say we're up leveling or exhilarating, like what example of sourcing a breakthrough would be calling forth even more miraculousness of nature, which we do in our Murmuration of Maestros group. We do that pretty regularly. We call forth the miraculousness of nature. We witness the magnificence of earth, etc. We partner with the universe, with God, source, creator, whatever terms people want to use with that. We witness source in others and up level that connection between us all to make that more available in the world. But the sourcing of breakthroughs is one of our specialties, because if you want to create a brilliant future on this beautiful planet, then we have to look at all the stuff that's not worked in the past and the framework upon which the current reality is based. So the current reality mostly in the world is based on individuality, striving for success, trying to achieve your potential, believing that you are who you're born as, and that's it. You got your learning and parenting and education and whatnot that shapes you, but you are who you are, and that's it. It's a destined path. We don't believe that. What we're creating a framework for is we are all sources. We are all originators of possibility, of newness, of the richness of life. And that as that, both individually and collectively, we can create a foundation of reality through breakthroughs in consciousness, such that we are naturally super connected to all life, such that by witnessing the magnificence of another, they show up brilliantly, etc., etc. So that would be my way of describing sourcing breakthroughs. How about for you?
Well, if I'm thinking about certain examples of fairly recent, um, in Glastonbury, which is only a few miles away from here, there's a place called the White Springs. It's got amazing acoustics. It is what is held to be a sacred space. It has a couple of pools of beautiful, cool, clear water where people dip in naked and do sacred ceremonies. It has also a number of different altars around the place dedicated to goddesses, the Green Man, to other entities that people give some sort of credence to because they believe in the power of and the symbolic nature of these different things which have great and deep meaning for them. And sometimes we might go there and take people there and might even sing there, because I believe that to be able to use sound in a very spontaneous, dynamic way can be very powerful in itself. It can allow people to shift their focus from the things that are going on in their life
Mhm.
and in their world to suddenly everything is gone in an instant. They've forgotten it. They're in another experience.
Yeah.
They're in another version of reality.
Yes.
And that's when a breakthrough can be most easily and gracefully achieved.
Yes.
And I believe in that to be able to know when to use sound, to be able to know when to take people on these types of journeys in what you might call a shamanic way, but which I will call a very aware way of knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it, how to sing it, to know something which that person that you are with requires an experience
Yeah.
which shifts their whole foundation upon which they've based their life. That to me is a real great gift.
Yeah.
To be able to give that person that gift, to be able to allow them to almost like feel that they've drifted into a stunning creation, perfectly made for them, perfectly created for them.
Yes.
And all you've done is really to meet them in a way that takes away any discrimination, any judgment, anything that you might say keeps them in that place in which they find themselves unable to break free from. And the breakthrough is the recognition that they are completely unbounded, that
Yes.
they are something more than they've considered themselves to be. This relates back to the previous podcast that we did in a way that when I do something like that for a person, I have no concept whatsoever about
Yes.
what's going to happen in the next few moments.
Yes.
I'm not deliberately trying to set a focus for a person.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give them an experience which I think is going to be the experience which is going to shift their foundation of life.
Yeah.
I am allowing something energetic to take place in the space that we are together.
Yes.
And I think the ability to be able to know that, to be able to work in that way
Yeah.
is pretty damned amazing.
Oh, is it ever?
Some people would say it's miraculous.
Yes.
Some people would put you on a par with the greatest who have ever walked this planet. But I would say that anybody with any sense of awareness can do that for any other person,
I agree.
given the right circumstances, given that that person is ready to have a breakthrough, to know that they are poised to have a breakthrough,
Yeah.
and that what you're going to do is you're going to be completely there with them. And it's almost like something in you reaches out to them, and there is synchronicity between you. There is something which just is in resonance. And I
Yes.
think the ability to be in resonance with another is an amazingly powerful transaction that's being done by moment to moment to moment spontaneously.
Yes.
And the most amazing things then happen. Person goes, oh God, that, well, I went to somewhere, but I don't have the language to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I had the experience. To have the experience of going beyond where you wanted to go
Yeah.
is even beyond that is really, to me, the symbol of something that is eminently achievable by a being who says they are totally with others.
Yes.
And you just have to have the experience. So let's just have the experience together. Let's not talk about it. Let's have the experience. I want you to imagine that someone has just taken you by the hand. You're a teenager again, maybe even preteen, and someone tells you, we're going to go to this fantastic place. Close your eyes. And you, in your full trusting nature, take their hand and you start walking together. And what you feel is almost like after a while, you're walking on air. You're no longer walking on the solid ground. Something in you tells you that all the senses that you have relied upon to tell you where you are in the world, to where you are in time and space, just simply don't exist anymore. You've crossed over a boundary, and that boundary is suddenly starting to take shape and form in the way that you hadn't anticipated. You suddenly start to see a greater depth of luminosity, greater colors, more vivid, a feeling that something is engaging with you, that you are feeling all these pulses of energy coming at you, but also at the same time, the energy is pulsing out from you, like something has touched the cells in every part of your being, and it's suddenly elevated your whole sense of being in life, of being in touch with life, of feeling alive. And you don't even know that what the language is anymore to tell you about the experiences that you're having. You are beyond any experience you've ever had before. And a great sense of self, trust, and of love permeates you. Everything seems to stand still. You've become timeless. You feel a sense of bliss, of radiance. But even that is not enough to tell you what it is that you experience. And that is the experience that we give people in a breakthrough. They lose all the senses that they had before about who they were and what their life was about, because now they can start to operate in a different way.
Mm.
And they don't lose any sense of touch with the people that they love the most. Really, it sort of like encourages the people that they love the most to also be that
Yeah.
with them. And you wonder, can you live like that all the time? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
You can live that all the time.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to have your life be any other way. You wouldn't want to make decisions that would entrap you, make you feel less than, or do things that you don't really want to do. You just don't take those decisions anymore. You don't put yourself in the path of anybody else telling you what to do, how to act, how to be. You are now the originator of your life. You are now sourcing, if you like, the totality of your life. And you've got a breakthrough. And you'll continue to have breakthroughs in so many different other ways. But you wonder, why didn't I know this before? But you've been having breakthroughs perhaps all your life, small breakthroughs perhaps, but nevertheless experiences that allow you to go on a journey beyond imagination that has no ending.
Beautiful. Thank you. So I'm just going to a little bit sum up for us then. So Centauri just took you on a wonderful journey into a breakthrough experience. And so he was talking about working with a person or people to take them on breakthroughs. And I was talking about sourcing breakthroughs in consciousness, in possibilities, in futures, etc. It's the same skill. And I think what we're attuned to when a breakthrough comes into our awareness, because it floats into your awareness. It's something is sitting there waiting to take that moment, that person, that reality, whatever, to its next level of possibility and creation. And because we're attuned to almost the pulsing of that calling us, so you can feel, for me, when I was training coaches in sourcing breakthroughs, for example, there's a moment where it goes, like you feel it and you answer its call, you step up into it. And then the breakthrough is a movement that is moving through to take us through to what's waiting for us next, is how I would talk about it. So that's whether you're doing it with a person or groups or reality or consciousness of the earth or even the universe. It's this compulsion or calling into the sense that something wonderful is waiting if we just give it a tap, an activation, and I call it an alchemical activation. We just give it a kind of like a whoosh of there, make that reality, you know? So that would be my way of summing that up about sourcing breakthroughs.
Just let me add something to what I said. We might say that's a one-to-one, but the person that you're working with perhaps can symbolize all of humanity. It doesn't have to be a one-to-one just for that
Yes.
person.
Yep.
That person might symbolize everybody.
Yes.
It's in the way that you respond to and respect with and relate to,
Yes.
the whole of life, if you will. If you believe, well, let's say if you have the thought that we are all connected in some amazing, miraculous way, then what happens to one person will ripple out to all as well.
Yes.
But we're working on a scale that isn't about healing a person or saving a person or trying to change a person or transform a person. We're elevating in some magnificence and attesting to the greatness of all of life.
Yes.
And so when we're doing that type of movement, let's call it that, a movement, it isn't about a single solitary individual.
Yes.
It's about the focus is about on all of life, that
Yes.
a breakthrough potentiality is starting to occur for everybody, for all life on this planet and perhaps beyond. It is how you conceptualize these things, how you relate to them, how you really want something more greater than the individual breakthrough to take place. So in that respect, everything is happening, and the speed in which things are happening gets faster and faster and faster, which is evidence, if you like, of the power of the breakthrough itself.
Yeah, that's beautifully put, Centauri, because, and one of the things that I think people should understand, most people would think, oh, if I make that person the whole of humanity, doesn't it get more complex, more hard, more? No, it's the opposite. If you're working with someone and you feel that breakthrough is them sourcing it through with you co-sourcing for the all, it becomes more gracious, more flowing, more powerful, more brilliant, more genius. And it's gives you great delight to be able to participate in a co-creational alchemical act like that. Yep. So I think that wraps us up on this one.
My words exactly.
The Art of Sourcing Breakthroughs, Episode 6, Outrageously Evolving. Thank you very much for listening. You can follow us on Spotify. You can follow us on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope you really enjoy listening to our latest,
Conversations of
yes,
greatness.
about outrageously evolving. Thanks for listening.
See you in the next one.